All right, let's get into it. Today, we're looking at a fascinating story coming out of Boca Raton, Florida. Now, I know it sounds like just a local issue, but stick with me, because it shows us something huge, what a healthy democracy actually looks like when people disagree. And I mean really disagree. So, this is our starting point. A local newspaper publisher is publicly calling out the city's leaders, basically saying they've dropped the ball. But here's the twist. Just a short while later, that same publisher is telling a totally different story. The big question is, what on earth happened to change his mind so dramatically?
Well, it all centers around this one thing, a massive new development called the Frisbee-Terra mega project. And like these kinds of huge projects often do, it completely split the city. You had regular citizens on one side and their own elected officials on the other. Things were tense.
So, to really get what's going on, you just need to know the three main groups in this whole saga. First, you've got the city leadership. That's Mayor Scott Singer and the council. Then you have the developers, Frisbee-Terra, who are, pushing to get this thing built. And then you have Save Boca, a group of citizens who got organized to make sure their voices were heard loud and clear. Okay, so let's rewind a bit. At the beginning, the way the city's leadership handled all of this was a huge part of the problem. For a lot of people in Boca Raton, it felt like they were talking to a brick wall. And this one quote from the mayor really says it all. The decision had already been made. It was a done deal. I mean, can you imagine hearing that when you feel like you should have a say in what your own community looks like? It just landed really, really poorly. And that feeling created this deep frustration. The publisher described the leadership as coming off as arrogant, totally closed off to any kind of real conversation. It felt like if you had a different opinion, it wasn't seen as feedback, but as some kind of personal attack. The bottom line, people felt completely ignored. But then, something happened. One single city council meeting managed to completely change the vibe, the tone, the entire direction of this debate. This is where the story takes a turn, from all that conflict towards something a lot more hopeful. And just look at this contrast. It is honestly night and day. The attitude from before, arrogant, dismissive, unwilling to listen, was replaced with something totally different. The mayor was now being described as humble, attentive, open. He was even showing grace to citizens who were pretty disrespectful to him. We're talking a complete 180-degree turn here. And the impact of that shift was huge. The author makes it super clear this was personal. It stopped being about winning an argument over building specs. The real victory was simply the feeling that, for the first time, the citizens were actually being heard. And that feeling, right there, is the foundation for any kind of trust between people and their government. So this is where the story gets bigger than just one project in one city. It becomes about the democratic process itself. It's a powerful reminder that how we talk to each other is often just as important as what we're talking about. The author actually gives this change a name. He calls it political maturity. And what does that mean? Well, it's the ability to choose working together over fighting, to actually welcome a healthy debate, and, this is the big one, to have the humility to say, you know what, maybe we need to rethink this, and then actually change course. And the coolest part is that this wasn't a win for just one side. Everyone gets a little credit here. The mayor and council for changing their tune, the developers, Frisbee-Terra, for being more open to what citizens wanted, and of course the activist group, Save Boca, for successfully turning regular residents into a powerful voice for their community. Everybody played a role in this turnaround. But let's be super clear here. Just because everyone's talking nicely now doesn't mean the project is a go and everyone's holding hands. Not even close. The way they're talking is better, but the really hard conversations, they're just getting started. So with this new, better process, they now have to tackle some very real, very complicated problems that haven't gone away. Yep, all the big hurdles are still there. What is this project going to do to traffic? Is it too dense for the area? What's this thing really going to cost? And what about the environmental impact? These are the huge questions that they still need to figure out. This line from the article just nails it. A breakthrough in how they communicate has allowed the truth to flourish. Basically, an honest conversation is finally possible. But the tough, grinding work of figuring out the future of this project, that's only just begun. And the publisher ends his piece with this classic old French proverb. Rome was not built in a day. It's just the perfect reminder that building anything worthwhile, whether it's a city or a consensus or a democracy, is slow, patient work. It seems like the foundation in Boca Raton is a lot stronger now, but the final building is still a long, long way off.